Hello, everyone, and what a crazy day. I hope everybody is safe, and I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. I am at the Microsoft campus currently because they have power and Wi-Fi. But yeah, just going to try and make this as quick as possible. I know that some of you still don't have power. I don't have power at my home. So I've also moved the participation to be due on Monday instead of due today because I know that a lot of us don't have power. Also, flexible deadlines. So even if you don't have power by Monday, you are still welcome to submit that anytime before the quarter ends. But yes, we are going to continue on with language and social emotional development from last class, as well as talk about social emotional growth, attachment, and inclusive caregiving practices. I encourage you to open up the PowerPoint alongside this video because there are videos embedded in the PowerPoint that I will not be playing for this mini lecture to make sure I keep it pretty short and concise. So when I tell you to play the video, I'm hoping and inviting you to play the video on your PowerPoint that you've downloaded. You can access it via Canvas. That being said, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's safe. Please reach out if you need any additional support, and I'll see if I can connect you with somebody who can give you that support. I also, like I said, don't have power at my home, so my Wi-Fi and ability to respond is limited. Um, so we are going to go ahead and keep going. We have a meditation. I invite you to do this meditation if you would like. If not, you can skip it. Just do what feels best for you and your body in this moment. All right. Now we're going to start off with social emotional development. So we have this video, what if adults had tantrums like toddlers? I encourage you to play this video before we move on. It's a short video. It's also pretty silly. And essentially this video is just showing if adults did not have the emotional regulation capacity that we do, and we had the emotional regulation capacity as toddlers, this is how we would react. And the world would look very different if we did not have emotional regulation. So we have no chat, so I encourage you to just write this down or mentally think about tools that you use to regulate your own emotions. Some examples that I use include deep breathing, eye tapping techniques, getting up, moving, saying something silly, just trying to get out of that heightened emotional state and reconnecting my brain to my body. So regulation helps us manage our reactions to external stimuli, also manage our attention to external stimuli. It also facilitates self-regulation, being able to regulate our own emotions and stay at a pretty level pace or just emotional state. Um, Regulation and relationships are very correlated, and adult sensitivity and responsivity to a baby can support the baby's self-regulating skills. So a regulated adult is more likely to be able to regulate a child than an unregulated adult. So when you're feeling very unregulated and stressed, it's going to be a lot harder to regulate a child's emotions when they're in a heightened state because they'll feel that energy from you. So making sure that we are managing our own emotions and checking in with ourselves so that we can be the best support for children as possible. We have a video on social emotional development. Please play this video before continuing. You can play this video by opening up the PowerPoint and playing it on your end. So, after watching this video, I invite you to reflect on how you can support social and emotional development. What are some strategies that you can use? What are things that you can encourage in the classroom? What are things that you can model yourself to support social and emotional development in children? So I use that word model, and modeling means that the adult is doing something and the child is watching the adult do that and learns from the adult who's modeling that behavior. So saying please and thank you, right? An adult who says please and thank you, a teacher who says please and thank you, constantly and consistently is modeling appropriate manners, which then that child picks up and says, oh, in this society, saying please and thank you is appropriate. And that is what modeling is. A lot of emotional learning and development happens with relationships, with modeling, and with the security of a secure attachment. Um, the attachment relationship is very important for emotional learning. Emotional learning also helps you figure out your sense of identity, who you are, and like what your place is in this world. Also, how you regulate your own emotions within cultural context. Culture influences the way you express your emotions. Society influences the way you express your emotions. And that changes. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to pause the video really quickly and I'll play it in a second. Okay, guess who's back? Back again, it's me. So yes, culture highly influences the way we express our emotions, because society and culture influences the way what is appropriate or what is an appropriate expression of emotion. So now we have attachment. I invite you to watch this video on attachment theory. Attachment essentially is the bond between two people. And when we're talking about infant attachment, we're talking about the bond or the relationship between an infant and their primary caregiver or caregivers, the people who care for them the most, be that mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, aunt, uncle, siblings, childcare. Those are all can be primary caregivers. There are three different main types of attachment. One is a secure attachment and two are insecure. So a secure attachment is good. It is when the caregiver is sensitive to the child's needs, meaning that the caregiver knows what the child's needs and then responds to that and gives the child what they need in order to be happy and thrive. If the infant signals distress or is uncomfortable, the adult responds and tries to make that infant comfortable, whether that means feeding them, putting them to sleep, holding them, playing with them, whatever they need. So the two insecure attachments are anxious ambivalent and anxious avoidant. Anxious ambivalent occurs when a caregiver ignores infant signals, or only attends to those signals on the caregivers based on the caregiver's own needs when it serves their own needs. So sometimes this caregiver is meeting that infant and what they need. Sometimes the caregiver is ignoring the infant. And infants may not allow comfort when this occurs because they don't know what to expect. They don't know if they're going to be ignored or if they're going to be cared for. So then they just go with, I'm going to be ignored. I don't want to be comforted. And then infants may also be anxious during play if they have an anxious ambivalent attachment. An anxious avoidant attachment is when the caregiver altogether ignores the infant's cues for connection or gets angry consistently and constantly with the infant when the infant is searching for connection. What this looks like is an infant who's very independent in play, very, very independent, and does not seem to care for their primary caregiver. And the infant may remain close to, in this case, the mother. A lot of attachment research is on mothers. However, there's more and more research being done on primary caregivers, which is a lot more inclusive than just mothers. So infants remain close to the mother without engaging with the mother. They don't want to play with the mother, they don't want to look at the mother, but they are close to the mother or the primary caregiver. So temperament and identity. Temperament is essentially your personality. And your personality is part of your identity and who you think you are and what you identify with. So, language helps grow emotional development. When children are able to label their emotions and label the feelings in their body, it helps grow that social emotional skill set. When they can communicate their emotions, they can also help, they can gain tools to regulate their emotions through language. Um, this also helps with negotiation and acceptance of outcomes that may not be desirable. No, go back, please. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. Okay. Emotional labeling, and then also language helps promote a sense of identity. I like pizza, right? That identifies me as somebody who likes pizza. An infant can't say that, but toddlers are starting to be able to say what they like, what they don't like, and that's part of their identity. So then again, encourage you to watch this video. I'm going to continue. Please watch the video. So there's three main temperament styles. There's flexible or easygoing, slow to warm up, and then feisty or active. So flexible, easygoing temperament has this infant is predictable. They sleep on a schedule, they eat on a schedule. They have a pleasant mood. They enter new experiences easily. They're not extremely emotional. And they're minimally sensitive to sensory information. So they hear loud noises, they're relatively okay. They're in bright sounds, they're okay. They go to the grocery store, they don't care. Um, they're just chill. It's your chill babies. Slow to warm up, withdraw from new situations, but will be able to adjust slowly. So, a great example of this is an infant at a birthday party clinging to the primary caregiver, and then slowly but surely starts to like turn around a little bit, and then maybe starts to explore a couple feet away from the primary caregiver and run back. And then all of a sudden is jumping in the bouncy house and is totally fine. So, that's your slow to warm up child. And then you have feisty. They're active children. Irregular sleep eat patterns, very active, intense emotional expressions, easily distracted, easily triggered by sensory information, bright lights, lots of noises, sounds, frequent mood changes, sensitive to change, doesn't like transitions. Um, that is your feisty temperament. These children are your more sensitive children, if you will. So here are temperament examples. Again, please watch the video before continuing. So I encourage you to classify and analyze the temperament of the child in the video. Were they slow to warm up? Were they feisty? Were they easygoing? So not in the chat, but mentally do it if you can. And then cultural context. So culture does influence the way emotions are expressed. I saw a lot in our language and attachment newsletter. Oh, attachment parenting, attachment letter for expecting families. So that was the assignment. But all of you had said, yes, culture does influence the way that emotions are expressed, that attachment occurs. It affects relationships with other people. And you were definitely correct. What is normal or typical, I should say, in one culture, may be atypical in another culture in regards to emotional expression, in regards to how love is shown, in regards to how conflict is resolved. Yes, even in families, so culture to culture and family to family. So I encourage you to think about if you're aware of any emotional display rules in your family and how that may differ from maybe the general culture, maybe from one of your peers or one of your coworkers, or even one of the children in your care. So the environment. We are this secure base, or we aim to be this secure base, this safe haven, these hands right here, which the child can go out and explore. The child knows that you're going to be there and can run back to you when they need that comfort, when they need that protection. And in this little picture, it's called the circle of security. I really like this. Always be bigger, stronger, wiser, kind. Whenever possible, follow the child's needs, and whenever necessary, take charge. So you just have an amazing opportunity to be a very strong support in a child's life. Um, I'm saying I'm a lot. That's a big crutch word, but yeah. So, how can you promote a secure environment in your classroom? What can you do that shows children that you are there to support them, that you are there to help them, to love them, to care for them, and you are a safety net, and that they can go explore. And if something happens, you'll be right there, just in case, or you'll be there cheering on. Okay, I encourage you to do this by yourself. I know we can't do groups. Um, but take the next couple minutes and sketch out your dream infant and toddler environment. What does it look like? Where's the nap room? How many cribs are there? Where's the sink, the changing table? What toys are present? What interest areas are there? And just really think about it, sketch it out if you would like to. What are you including? Yeah. After that, we have our final project. I just wanted to remind you that it is due on December 2nd, and then the presentations take place on December 4th. It is an infant toddler brochure. And then on Monday, we have our class participation. I moved this, so it's not due today, it's due on Monday. It says do it now, ignore that. Do it now, obviously. Do it when you are watching this video. We have classroom connection number 4 due on Monday as well. Discussion 6 due next Friday. On December 2nd, we have our final brochure due. And then on December 4th are your final presentations. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just want to chat. Email me, Canvas inbox me. Once again, I hope everybody is safe and warm, and their homes are okay. That storm was pretty scary. So yeah, here to support you. If I don't respond, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't have power. Yeah. And my power is supposed to come back on supposedly on Saturday at 8 p.m. So we'll see. Have a good evening or day whenever you watch this.